everyone, so we're back today. I'm going to do you a lesson for I Need a Miracle, which is a great blues song by Bob Weir, and the Grateful Dead. And it's very easy. If you're not familiar with like a 1-4-5, it's essentially a 1-4-5 chord progression for all of you who know music theory. It's E, A, and B. And then at the ending, there's just a section where it's in G major. So the first chord is an E7. I have my overdrive pedal on, sorry. So it's an E7. And you can either do it open version, which is the second fret on the A string and the first fret on the G string, and everything open. You could do it like bar chord. So if you know your E bar chord, which is the one in that doesn't require the low E, just the A string and down, which is like a B shape, just on the 7th fret. You can do that, and except for just barring all three of them, you could have your ring finger on the 9th fret of the D string and 9th fret of the B string, and that means you'd be barring the G string with your index finger. That would turn it into an E7. Or you could do, if you know your C7 shape, you could slide that up all the way up to the 7th fret, and that's an E7, and you can throw in the low E too. Or you could play it like the G7 bar chord, which is all the way on the 12th fret. So if you know your G7 bar chord, slide that up to the 12th fret, you got an E7. Then your next chord is an A. A major. Not A7, A major. So A is, as we all know, 2nd fret on the D string, G string, and B string. Or you can play bar chord if you want. And then E7 again. And then in the turnaround, it's a B chord. Now for those of you who don't know how to play a B chord, it's just your index finger is barring all of the 2nd fret, except for the low E. You do not play the low E. It's just 2nd fret, and then with E, I use my pinky. I'm just comfortable with my pinky, but people use their ring finger to bar the 4th fret of the D, G, and the B string. And then the E string on the 2nd fret is barred with your index finger. See, I can't do it like that, so I have to use my pinky. And if you don't want to bar, if you feel like the barring is too hard on your pinky and your index your ring finger for the moment, you could just put down your 3 last fingers, your pinky, your ring finger, and your middle finger, all on the 4th fret on the D, G, and the B string, and then just bar the 2nd fret. That's how I first started doing it, because I found this to be too hard. And then eventually I got to it. So all together, the whole chord progression for the verse should sound like this. I'll play open chords for simplicity's sake. Strike that once, and then Bob Weir, I need a miracle every day. And then, you strike your E7 chord. So that's all the chords except for the ending when it changes keys and it goes to G major. So it'll be, G major, but it's a G7. So it'll be miracle every day. I need a miracle. And you just strike that, until it fades out, like the studio version. For an easier G7, instead of doing the bar chord, you could just do like a regular G, Or you know, some people play their G's like this, which is the most standard way of playing it. Well, what you do is you put your index, your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, and your middle finger, 2nd fret of the A string. Your index finger is going to reach all the way to the 1st fret on the 1st fret of the E string, and that'll be a G7. Or you could do the bar chord way, which is over here. For those of you who know their bar chords. Or since you got an E7 here, let's see, F sharp, G7 could be here. This is G7. So if you don't want to do bar chord and you don't like the open version, do your C7 shape that I taught you guys in my last lesson, which should have been Deal. And just slide that all the way up to the 10th fret, and you got a G7. So the intro, I want to teach you guys the intro. The lick that Jerry does, it's pretty neat. I do it over here. You can do it in 2 ways. I'll let you guys choose which one is comfortable. The way I do it is kind of in all the way up by the 10th fret and the 8th fret. So on the B string, you hit the 10th fret with your ring finger, and you slide that up. You'd be bending it up a whole step, all the way to the same pitch as the 12th fret. So you do 1 strike, and you would be bending it just a little bit, not all the way up there. Then the second time around, you actually go all the way up there. You'll hit the B string again and bend back down. Actually, you don't even have to hit it. You could just release it. So 1, 2, release, and then pull off to the 10th fret of the 8th fret of the B string. And then on the G string, with your middle finger, you'll play the 9th fret. So slowly would be. And then and what I do there is just simply kind of like going up chromatically on the D string, starting on the 7th fret to the 9th fret, and then on the G string 7 and 9, and then with my middle finger I'll hit the 8th fret of the B string. So the whole thing should sound like this. Now when he goes to the A chord, you go. So you'll do the same thing as the beginning. And when you hit that 8th fret on the B string, instead of going up here on the 9th fret of the G string, you'll hit the 10th fret of the B string again. So, and then back to your original. And that's the little intro riff, and he does it throughout the whole verse. You can also do it up here on the 12th fret and the 14th fret. For those of you who know your E minor scale, you could do it up here. It's a little bit more simple. So on the G string, you'll just play the 14th fret and strike it up and bend it up the same way you would do it up here. And you'd hit the 14th fret of the D string. And then the little chromatic going up chromatically would be on the 12th fret to the 14th fret on the A string. And then 12th fret and 14th fret on the D string. 12th fret on the G. You got it. And And so I like to use an overdrive pedal because, I mean, to get that tone that he does, the little drive settings. And so the scale is E minor blues. So you could use your E minor pentatonic scale for those of you that know it, or you could play the G major scale. So the G major scale, I'm going to show you that. No, let's do the E minor. Let's stick with that because G major is just, you know, it's kind of towards the end too. So E minor, if you know your A minor pentatonic, which if you don't, I've talked about it in a few other videos, and just do that all the way where the E minor is, I mean the E is on your E string, and just do, and play it in like a blues fashion because it's a blues song, so. And you know, that's all up to everybody. You know, everybody approaches blues songs differently, so I'll leave you guys up to that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson, and I guess I have the little track looped, and I'll improvise over it just a little bit to show you what I do.